when the time is now, folks. We're moving into cash. The map choice of eUnited. It will be Team 1 on the other side of the coin, waiting until we get to Inferno. I just can't wait. Let's go.
A lot of talent in the server right now, the problem is, I think, for eUnited is that not all of it showed up. Moose had a rough game. Yeah. I think Cooper was a bit
timid.
Timid
is the word I'd use.
The overall, it honestly felt like Dazzle was the only one who was super impactful, both on CT and T side, and was taking a lot of initiative on T side. So hopefully that carries over. As a player, I definitely think it's really, really good. But in general, we only highlight that because, you know, Moose should be their best player maybe, and then they got Cooper, who's been an all-star in some matches. So a lot more to show, and we hope that they have the ability to show that today.
Right. There's no better time than now. And obviously, with the other Brazilians already finding some success, Team 1, they want to do the exact same. But first man slain on the A site. A second body actually begins to pile up. It's a smooth entry into the after plant here for eUnited. No utility across the entire board, no kit either currently for Team 1. So it's going to have to be these dry USPs in the duel versus Moose. He's just creeping and crawling around the forklift, keeping himself in cover and keeping Team 1 down. 5 survivors for eUnited, nearly a team ace.
Nice simple execute, get the smoke on the cross, get the smoke on the opposite side of the site, get the bomb down, get a kill, win the round. Bingo, bango, bongo. eUnited pull out a pistol on T side and make it look easy. Team 1 will now decide what do they want to do, if they're going to buy into this at all or if they're just going to get minimal investments. Nico M decides to upgrade into a Deagle, which is kind of costly considering their economy, but to each their own. Maybe if he's anything like the other Nico, he can put together a nice pistol round with the Deagle.
Man may have some aim.
We've seen what that can do for you, putting your name, making your name related to another great player's name.
Yeah.
Boldy, the other Nico.
Nico Heroic?
It almost always works.
What was once Heroic Nico now was once Optic Nico. You know, he's bouncing around, trying to find his shop just like Team 1 are here. It's got to be a precarious position with such little invested. Where is that single Deagle? Solo on B, where eUnited are not. Once more, going to be charging into the A site, and it does cost them a man. Moose, who was looking to create space and create those opening frags with that SMG, does die, but Dazzle looks to take control of the situation, pushing himself forward, clearing out Truck, and then losing his in-game leader. FNS actually gets dinked by the Deagle. So 2 casualties on the round versus eUnited. They will lose 1 rifle and 1 UMP, and they're going to move forward with the rebuy here to round 3.
For Nico, that's actually quite an important kill. If we look at his money, just over 4K, would have had 3,750 if not for that, and wouldn't be able to buy this M4 and half armor. So a big find and a small risk taken by him, but it pays off. Knocks about 4K off the board for eUnited, who will rebuy happily. And this is a pretty strong round, or strong setup for eUnited to do something like mid control, which can be T-favored as it is, but now with all the utility they have, late mid can be extremely strong. Team 1 also won't have the ability to retake it that easily, though they do have AUGs, which will be a boon for them if they want to hold mid. At the moment, everybody has slowed it down quite a bit. There won't be a push on the map because eUnited are covering every choke point, and they are quite simply waiting to see what information Team 1 want to give them. There's not going to be a push here. You know, Brazilian rosters can be quite aggressive on CT side, and Cash opens up options for them to do so safely. 2 players covering the checkers, strong spots to be in. And there is what looked like some kind of boost in Z. I think they might have smoked and fall off. But eUnited have moved into the site of their choosing, A site, with a cross smoke out.
Maluk is that first line of defense. Dapper taking down a kill in mid. That helps, certainly, but it's Dazzle that has to go one better. Completely clearing out the A site. There's no residence now for Team 1. They're back on Truck. Arrive, but staved at bay. Moose then getting aggressive off of the forklift will lose his life, trading with 1 kill of his own, and then Dazzle goes over the boxes to set himself apart. 3 kills, only costs him 30 health, and eUnited win the opening gun round on top of it all.
He looks a lot like he did yesterday. A lot of initiative on the T side, a lot of space creation on the T side, a lot of nice entries, a lot of headshots, a lot of AK kills. Everything is falling into place at the moment for him, and eUnited are following in the wake of his tide. Very nice stuff from them. Patient anti-eco round, and this is another round where you might see them do it, or they could turn up the pace and go ahead and try to take mid control. Almost anything will work because they've got a significant artillery and weapons advantage. Team 1 haven't decided to go with anything aggressive here. No stacks on the ecos, nothing creative to look at. Instead, they'll split up. They have deagles, and that makes that helps paint the picture as to why they're split up and playing individualistically. It's a bit more presence towards B than there is to A, so there is that. But eUnited look to maybe take highway control and split towards the other side of the map. Nozzle gets flashed up to take a peek. Doesn't spot a target. Always got to be kind of concerned about quad. I think that's the pain point of going up highway. But there's no one there today, and Maluk, the only player left on the A site, has gone down. The B site players have also been contained. But does that mean that eUnited are going to run headfirst into a stack?
Doesn't feel likely. Now that they've gotten one kill off of B main, they've gotten that cutoff thanks to Dazzle. It seems to be like they realize A open for the taking. The FNS confirms it. All right. TRK. Double peek, double deagle frag, and then he ejects through B main. Bit all the way back into T spawn. But luckily for eUnited, they kind of got this bomb and the ball rolling while they still had 5 members alive.
No further kills. Look like they're going to fall into place for Team 1, but it is a couple of nice deagle kills, as you brought up, to help counterbalance the amount of successful rounds we've had for eUnited so far. Clean entrance onto B, or onto A. Bomb down. 3 out of 4 rounds? 4 out of 4 rounds.
For what?
Bomb. They got the bomb planted on 3 of these rounds.
Yep.
Ended up just being all kill rounds, but they planted the bomb. So that's big. Dazzle up to 154 ADR. Bit inflated for the time being, but still a nice stat line to look at and see for why the rounds have been so clean in the first place. Maluk instantly buys up into an op, not something they could have afforded the last time that they went all in on a full buy. And everybody else has pretty decent weapons. Bit actually found an AK. I didn't even notice that.
A little bonus, a little freebie. Keeps the 3K in the back pocket for a rainy day, which there could very well be ahead. Remember, eUnited flawless at the moment. We get the swapping of the op between Moose and Cooper, so playing off the spawn and looking to tap into the potential of Moose's skill sets. He's a very all-around player. He's meant to be one of the most impactful for this eUnited lineup. He will serve as the foundation for Cooper's boost. Watching mid, where IDK is playing around that white box, so he's going to have to be careful with his positioning if he doesn't want to lose his head.
It's a tough shot. There's going to be a small window of timing, and look how careful IDK is about jumping. Just over the corner, as you can see, from the trajectory of where his crosshair is aiming. In response to the smoke that comes over, a Molotov, and Cooper is going to throw one for himself to the sandbags as they attempt to clear out mid. One goes in the vents as well. And again, it's just IDK back here who will also get mollied out of position. Tough spot to be in if you're Team 1. They might want to move into taking A main control or a B push. And it seems like eUnited are more prepared for B.
This looks like a pretty well read. I've got to say, Team 1, just the way that IDK was jumping on the white box seemed to know maybe Cooper was watching from that boost, and then his Molotov on the boost itself at mid was perfectly timed with when eUnited wanted to use their own incendiary, so it slows it down. They get that A main control, and they do actually have a bolstered B defense, but it is outnumbered. eUnited going all in on this execution Losing Dazzle on the initial entry, nobody's able to trade, but as they attempt to cross, it's 2 duels, 1 for them. 7 seconds left as they get that bomb down. Crucial stuff as eUnited sweep through the kill feed and just best Team 1 in the straight-up aim duels.
Yeah, they won out. And okay, so the problem with the defense there is that they don't have a smoke for the site, which you can use to jump up on default and threaten from multiple, and threaten the players crossing onto the site from multiple ways. They also didn't have checker control because they lost mid, and they had 1 player spotting, but if they really knew that it was going to be a B play, they would have just rotated early as opposed to take A main control. So that player did not flank, and him being late meant that they were able to take the site. They had 2 players on the site at B, but the site itself is not that great. Checker control can really bring it together, and sometimes you can sit 2 players there. If you have a Molotov for headshot, you have a smoke for the spot between oranges and default, and then you can maybe delay. There was a good flash that came over that got Dazzle's scalp, but apart from that, run up headshot, and Team 1 I think also got a team flash on one of the flashes that came out of heaven, so that made it look a lot worse than it could have been as well. And the one thing for EU,
less utility than the previous round. Once more, Maluk looking into A main, but there's a counter opera. Cooper's there.
To get revenge for Cooper at the back of A main, who completely whiffed. I don't know if he shot too early. Could have literally just shot too early, and but he didn't need to flick or anything. Fights are going to come from. There's hardly any bad things to say about the way they're approaching their T side.
Cooper, anti-eco op shot already. Moose downed by the Deagle. FNS, oh, he's gonna.
Talk about overkill.
I'm an extremist, you know?
Yeah, you want to share your extremist views?
No, no.
You trying to separate from Canada?
No, I didn't.
Through mid specifically. And here they're kind of putting their op here. It was Cooper, if we remember correctly, to be outside the boost on that default. This time he's going to be... All he's doing is spotting. Once mid control is taken, what's going to happen? Are they just going to push A main again?
That was their last order of events.
I could see them setting up for the flash.
United, though, not going to give this setup. Lucky to be alive on 11 HP. He will plant that bomb. Now what? Man, disadvantage working against Team 1, and the fact that they've lost the B site with nothing else in their back pocket means they run for the hills, Launders.
So, United hold for the B push. It doesn't come out early. There's no fights taken. It's a standard 2-1-2 from Team 1, and then they play 1 person at white box spotting, and then in response to the mid control, they flash an A main. I could see that without even seeing it, and I'm sure that's what eUnited are playing off of as well.
Right.
They probably just know that this is their favorite adjustment, and flashing into A main for A main control is great, especially if a team is going to go A. It also helps you ease up the rotates, but the last 2 times eUnited have done that same mid control, where they mollied out vents, they just went ahead with a B split.
Anything particular you'd like to see Team 1 do instead as a response to mid loss?
You know, they could be playing mid differently, but I can see why they're intimidated by the grenades that eUnited are throwing if they don't want to risk anybody playing up close. Counter boost early on can work. It's eUnited to take late mid almost every time, which means it's easier to walk up and try to boost. Another thing is a squeaky push. They could also try to do B main control, which is something they haven't tried, and I'm sure we'll see a lot of those options explored on this round, considering they are right into another rifle round and they've just lost the same way twice. eUnited were even prepared for the A main push they knew was coming. They had someone in the back of A main just waiting. They didn't have him overextend, however, to take the fight. They just wanted to see if he goes for the big flank. If he does, then they get a kill even easier. So, a similar round. And it has to be understood that for the CT side, it's a little bit scary to push, but if they know, for example, that a team is taking mid, A and B are going to be lightly held, only 1 or 2 people at most. And so a calculated double push on either side of the map can be effective, but they've either got to turn that into a big flank, or they've got to kind of rotate out, play more players dedicated to the site they think it's going to be.
But counters the Molotov, so this is a very different look for mid control.
Yeah. Does this mean that eUnited actually just take that information and go A?
There's no reason they have to hammer this home.
Oh, this could be annoying.
Yeah, he gets the confirmation, and Dapper was ready to catch him. Bit doesn't entirely eject, Actually looking for the duel on site. Still giving chase, though. I like the way he's working around these walls, but not offering up his life. All the while, this pressure towards B could be fueling eUnited into the eventual A hit. They do have 4 players here. Dapper cutting down the numbers at the B side. Oh. Good spray control for the second frag, but the kill feed is a flash flood of eUnited frags. 9-0 instantly, as quick as those 5 kills on top of it all. Holy moly. Let's take a pause.
Nice. I mean, yeah, go ahead, take a pause. It's rough. We've got barely any kills on the board. If we do some quick maths, 11, 13, 14 kills in total for eUnited.
2289 divided by
64
6.
Hut hike.
Carry the 4. Yeah.
Yeah, they're losing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just, I feel like, a bit too readable. As soon as the United see that they've got like extra presence towards B, they just avoid it. And they actually also have a way to try to catch them. By, you know, and one time, I will say they did play checker. FNS just destroyed whoever it was, back checker box. That could have been pivotal. Some of the frags have not been good enough, and it's always an accumulation of things that result in such a lopsided scoreline, not just the setups. Oh. There it is, another rifle round and another rough opening kill.
×2. Coop takes the high side of the mid box, nails himself a man to the wall. Now Nico M in the garbage pile, added to the tally. That could be the bomb open to the B site if they will. And all this time, we've got a pesky moose on the loose hiding in the squeaky door. He wants to catch the exits.
Look at him. He looks like a father that's explained to his son why he should never do something again.
Yeah. You really trying to save a day. TRK back in main. Dazzle walks in, and it's the moment he's jumping on the box.
It always seems like, and when it rains, it pours, right? That's,
yeah.
That is just how it goes sometimes.
So 10 straight successful T-side rounds here for eUnited.
It really do be like that.
Now what? What's crazy to me as well is, like, I feel like the most proactive change we've seen so far from Team 1, what I thought would be most successful, was when you had Bit up inside of the vents, and they kind of countered out that initial volley of Molotovs. They extinguished the smokes. They still had 3 CTs there. And then when that was actually countered by Dazzle re-Molotoving it, he falls into Dapper, who was already set up to catch him. So it's like Team 1 make a change for the very first time, and even that gets countered on the fallback.
Yeah.
This round, obviously, Dapper just deletes Nico M, but okay.
He's got a backspace key as well.
Yeah, they've both got him. Bound and ready to go. Hardcore mode.
They took the HUD out. That means it's going to be a frag highlight.
Yeah. We're making montages.
Okay, never mind. He just dies.
It's going to walk up right into Dapper. He was hungry for the gun. Good job, Dapper. Sets the bait.
It's a honeypot.
But Bit just destroys him, too. Deagle to the back of the noggin. And we've got ourselves with Team 1 poised to potentially win on the light buy. Was just the Deagles. Moose and Cooper.
They know there's one on site, and the smoke is about to come up. Ah, there it is. Cooper spots him. He's essentially dead. Oh, the 1D comes out, and the damage is in, but he's staying alive, and because Cooper has to reload, he can now reposition as well. Oh, the first duel does not go the way of Team 1, but Maluk from Quad, who lived way too long at Fence, ends up saving the day for Team 1. And we don't get that. We don't get the 16-0 today.
Damn, I was kind of wanting. We haven't had one yet at any of the minors.
Unlucky.
Oh well, they will still most certainly be able to reset off the back of that. Man in the back of.
I didn't get to watch how Team 1 played yesterday versus Envy.
Yeah, I mean, we were casting the other match at the same time, right? But
yeah, but they got 16-3'd, you know.
Envy.
And eUnited seem very, very happy to be playing this match right now.
That's the kind of mistake here in the 11th round. You just gotta shake it off. You're up 10-1 on the T side.
I mean, even that one was just, you know, one player alive.
What is wild is it does enable Team 1 to afford this double op setup. We've seen it before from them, but they'll get right back in it. So if they want to close out the half, 5-10 best case scenario.
Heavier towards mid. I think 3 players here. Smokes on the cross, however. Molotov to fork, and it looks like they're going to try to make an entrance out of this. It's a wrap strat.
Yep. Maluk, one of those 2 oppers, trying to lock down red box. TRK can't help, and the moment he goes to look downwards, that's when FNS jumps up, blows his brains all over the back wall, and puts Dapper in for the follow-up frag. So Team 1 winning with Deagles, coming back with the full-fledged buy. All the bells, the whistles, the trimmings, and yet it is eUnited just smashing through the A site yet again.
The stuffing, the cranberry sauce.
A little bit of gravy.
A little crazy, gravy, a little crazy.
A little crazy? That sounds like Thanksgiving.
And here's a bunch of kills that fall into place for Team 1, but you can't blame eUnited for trying to hunt, even if they haven't caught all of them. Oh, Moose spotted a target, wanted to make sure he wasn't going to get shot from elsewhere beforehand. But that's it, another bomb plant, another round 1, another A exec that goes so smoothly. And I gotta say, the most aesthetically pleasing thing about eUnited is everything looks so clean.
Yep.
It's the right amount of nades that they need. They've got great spacing and routes out into the sites. And to take mid, there's order, and it's very functional. And it seems like it's all they need, and it feels like it's just like some kind of direct anti-strat to the way that Team 1 want to play. But it's not really. It's pretty standard stuff on catch that they're doing.
When I see play like this, you know, it's sometimes you see a team's map pick, and it's still a good map for the other opponent. This is very clearly eUnited's choice. You know, they come into this map very well versed. And I wanted to kind of give a bit of a tip of the hat to FNS as well. I think he's had a lot of crucial kills in those like mid rounds when it comes to clearing certain positions. Think about the way he takes down back checkers at that B bomb site when they successfully ran forward. Last round, he's the one that jumps up on red box, perfect timing to help out with clearing the cat.
A is very attractive to go into versus force-ups or saving players. TRK, though, has other ideas. He's got one of the only rifles, and he puts 2 in the bodies of FNS and Dapper. Dazzle now will try to activate, and what a flick. IDK gets absolutely hecoed. He's also made space onto B. The rotate is going to come around from Z, and him just being here, no matter where the bomb goes, is going to alarm a lot of the CTs. Oh, the bomb almost gets recovered. Cooper gets pushed. And that could be the end of it. Might have been a more interesting round if that didn't just happen, but good on Team 1 for seeking out that information.
Yeah, had Cooper come to join him, you can just tell Dazzle's ready to just smash open this bomb site. But does not seem as though he'll get another target except for one of these oppers. Nico M should have his number the moment he walks around. So there you go. It is Team 1 doubling up on the score, only having 2 rifles at the start of that one, so a retrieved secondary AWP and some AKs to join the fray. It's a good setup for Team 1 to, again, still try to close as best they can. There's no sugarcoating it. 4 CT rounds is a rough place to be, but not as bad as 2.
Only 2 rounds they won have been rounds where they didn't have money to full buy, which is an interesting stat. Sometimes that alludes to nervousness. Sometimes that alludes to the thought that you need to be more aggressive and more fluid and more rotate heavy than you have been. And eUnited will probably take note of that. Here's the B main smoke. This is the really good like kind of Virtus Pro push on a B that I love to see, but Dapper has made his way into the sunroom, and they haven't actually pushed here. So normally if that smoke blooms and you're not on the other side of it, then you have to take 40 seconds to try to clear out sunroom and now push back into B, even if you only want to go A again, because you're worried about how much info has been taken. But Team 1 throw that and they just fall back. They don't even get sunroom control. They don't isolate Dapper, even though he is alone already, and try to eliminate him so that they'll have an easier round for them. No, they're letting the execute come to them one more time, and I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't work out.
It's wild. Team 1 have just completely evacuated middle, Launders.
Yeah, they do have the ops, so they're going to have one probably at quad. Yeah, Maluk's up there at quad to watch highway. And then the other, I assume, at B somewhere on site, it looks like, yeah. So they don't even have to think about checker control, but they totally still could if they wanted to.
Nobody looking to make moves for Team 1. Even with all the audio cues unfolding here towards mid, it's got to be a clear indicator as to what eUnited are up to. Good deep smoke to the top of highway. That counters Maluk. So now we said that, you know, you didn't have to put checkers in question. IDK has to keep himself committed to it. Can't actually support from Truck because he could open up a flank that would be atrocious for this defense. He runs up to Truck, realizing that maybe there is nobody pushing through, and that is the case. There's 7 seconds left, and the quad player's still up. Down he goes, and just in the nick of time, it seems Cooper's got the plan.
Oh, they've also got 3 up. They push CT. Bit goes down, and the last man in Z has been spotted, tagged up, and now bagged.
Damn, that's eUnited again. The second time they've really left it down to the wire. And even though Maluk didn't have vision towards mid, it didn't come back to bite him so much because he was still able to put up some sort of a defense, if only a second longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he probably did his best with the position that he was in. The smoke to the top of highway made it a lot easier for FNS to get up safely without being exposed to him for a while, which kind of probably made him nervous and put him into a spot where he had to peek where he didn't want to. But yeah, it's another round that Team 1 do not come away with. And here it is, the triple B push. Would it be a surprise to you if they pull out another round being aggressive on an anti-eco round?
It is their last chance after all. With backs against the wall, they get a little crazy. Dazzle smoke up highway. Just chilling out in mid, completely alone. IDK's vision now restricted, but there is a player, Maluk, here inside of checkers, so, excuse me, Z.
So if you're calling, you can call out people, you can call out CTs for not playing mid with this top highway smoke. It denies vision from anybody playing a passive setup from quad. You can also use it to get up to top highway, but it hampers the rotations a little bit because the A players are now scared that an X-Act is coming their way. But it's actually a B play. Bit in a position to get mollied out potentially. But if he doesn't get cleared, could have a good... he does, yeah. Has good advantage in that fight.
Yep. FNS just can't best him. That's the bomb confirmed as well, thanks to Bit. But he looks away. Dazzle doubles back into the vents. Maluk into the bomb site. We'll find a little bit of cover and a teammate with that flashbang primed. Bomb drop once more, but Moose is hot on the flank. Executes the man in heaven. Could very well fixate towards the player in tree, and in doing so dies. He's actually going to lose that duel. Now it's all on Cooper. He's going to have to start walking outwards, sees the shoulder, hits the first one, opts on cycle, and even then, he nearly gets the second bullet down range. But instead, it's the third round on the board here for Team 1, folks. It's not the best CT side. It was a masterclass offense from eUnited, and we're going to have to take a break before we come back to see what unfolds in the second half. We will see you soon.
Intel Extreme Masters is brought to you in part by Intel, Vodafone, Acer Predator, Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel, HyperX, Betway, and Pay Safeguard.
eUnited showing us exactly why they opted to start this series on cash, folks. It is the elimination best of 3 between Team 1 and eUnited, and we are now into the second half. So a pistol has never felt so important for Team 1. Outclassed on their CT side, but I've seen some T-sided cash comebacks in my day, Mohan.
Doesn't feel like it's the makings of one. I'll be 100% honest about this. In the first half, we saw 3 eco rounds won from Team 1. Not a single rifle round. No pistols, no anti-ecos, nothing like that. 3 ecos. That just screams problems. They win this pistol. Might be something, but it'll still be a long shot. United have played kind of far back outside of B, interestingly enough. Sometimes teams will do this. They don't exactly have the best utility to try to retake. They at least have a couple of kits. For some reason, have 2 kits. Don't know why.
Double flash and a smoke. Now down. FNS just gets blindsided. Dazzle's going to try to pressure vent, and he does pick up a kill. A little wary of a potential peek from mid, but that is not the case. Team 1, they're all in with this bomb site. Sure, there's a player back in B main, and he may be the last line of defense with a Molotov. He threw it over into the bomb site, and that right there wins the round. I don't believe there's going to be time.
Oh, he might have just missed it. He got stuck on the box. Oh, he got stuck on the box and missed it.
Whoops.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. Nice trap from Team 1.
Yeah, they got I mean, that's the insurance policy, right?
It was a great retake overall, but yeah, the insurance policy at the end just brought it together. I mean, yeah, he got stuck on the box.
Whoops.
Oops.
Who put that there?
Oops, sorry, guys.
Well, the box got my waiter.
Unlucky.
So, let's go, Team 1. Let's get some rounds on the board, you know, bolster a little confidence. You don't want to be going into the second map with 4 rounds to your name.
No, that is absolutely true. That's a strong spot. It's actually really strong. Also, versus Galil's, which are the worst gun in the whole game, a USP is far more accurate. Pound for pound, way better. It's the USP is the Mighty Mouse of guns.
Such a little gremlin hiding behind that ledge. Barely seen. An embarrassing death on the top of the boost. But unfortunately here for eUnited, even despite getting those first 2 kills, they can't retrieve the weapons. You know, they can't have the splendors of their win.
That's true. At this point, we're wishing probably that they upgraded their guns and bought half armor, because they're sailing here with these 2 kills.
Could still very well be cost effective, even if it's not already. But unfortunately for eUnited, they've opted to stack that B bomb site, anticipating mid to vent to B.
Mid to vent to B? Vindi vindi vici?
Yeah, I learned Italian when you weren't looking.
Listen. Oh, what? I didn't even realize he had a deagle.
He's 20 and 8. Dazzle.
Yeah, he's been going off, man. And oh my God, he could do it. He could do it. Oh no, he can't do it.
Doesn't let the shot reset. Can't manage the inaccuracy. Quite a beast the Deeg is. Can be tamed in the hand of the right man. Dazzle clearly one of those dragon tamers. Snake charmers.
Dog whisperers.
What's Cooper gonna get up to? FNS is just back behind him with a retrieved Galil. They're not gonna play this.
They got the retrieved Falmus.
Oh, and they'll boost to get the other gun. Yeah.
Give me that, yeah. Gross. 2 Galils. It's
Yeah.
sabotage. It's sabotage. Yeah. They got sabotage.
That's why they bought
You got
Galils.
pranked, guys.
Give them over.
You think you came out ahead in this round? You're gonna bring those guns into the next round, and you're gonna lose because they're just Galils.
Cooper had 8 health down to 1.
Calculated.
It's the glasses.
I don't even remember him wearing glasses, I'll be honest.
This is the first time he's ever worn glasses. I used to be a little more intimidated.
This guy looks like a straight librarian at this point. He's probably super smart.
I mean, listen, he's on eUnited. He's a professional now.
That's true. He can afford glasses.
And if, you know, the odds are he watches this back. Cooper, I still can't take you. All right.
Oh yeah, no, he's jacked. He's bigger. He's bigger than Freak. He's not. I don't think he's like as. I don't know. I don't know if either of them fight, so I'm not sure. But Cooper's a big dude. They're both swole. I mean, Swole Patrol. You know.
Once upon a time, brothers in arms. And both succeeding. So what's up next? We've got weapons for eUnited. Obviously, those 2 Galils push forward. Couple that with some M4s. Throw in an AUG. And you've got yourself a party for eUnited. The party was last half, in fact. Now it's just a manage of starting it up again. So Cooper immediately to the depths of top mid. He's got a lot of bodies moving around him. That's some sound that is a clue. But is he the key?
Oh, was he spotted? TRK? I mean, he's going to hear this, but... Oh my goodness. Oh.
Flash to help him out. There we go. Gets a little overwhelmed by just the sheer amount of shots being fired from so many directions. Moose doesn't swing out from Z, cannot spot Maluk on his walk up mid.
See, when eUnited executed mid almost every single time, it was just 5v5 to get highway control. Here, eUnited have got in the middle of it, and yeah, they only went 1 for 1, so it's not the best place to be in. But they have a lot more info, and if it does come down to a site retake, it's lower numbers, which is always easier. 2 players shift over towards B, as I think someone is either, it's a main push.
Dapper in the back of the site. AUG up. Moose not ready to swing out just yet, and when he does so, does hit a dink, but doesn't get anything for it. It's only Dapper with a frag on the hold.
That was the same problem they had, that Team 1 had. They didn't have any utility. They didn't have a smoke for the middle of the site. And that makes things a whole lot harder. So they did have played 2 on site and waited to deal with the exec, but didn't go 1 for 1. Team 1, all contributing here except for TRK, which is a good look for them.
It's definitely the way to start off these gun rounds. What else could have happened here? I feel like it was just a matter of just getting some sort of a B hold. It's crazy to me that you actually have Moose go from the back of tree onto the bomb site to play behind the bigger front boxes. And then, to me, it's like, you know, you've got 2 positions, either behind the boxes, peeking to the next of it, or you're actually playing in headshot lane where your body's at least covered. But with the angle he ended up taking for the fight under Heaven, he's standing on the ledge, fully exposed, no cover.
Yeah, sometimes, so if somebody swings out at you and you're by headshot, then you're still going to be fully exposed. Like if you miss your bullet and you try to duck, then they can swing on you, ducked, and you're dead.
True.
So sometimes people are taking the fight on the left side of default.
So you can get back behind the box?
They're trying to catch the moment where everyone stops strafing right and they suddenly are going forward. Every time you can catch someone running forward, you should always take the fight, because it is much harder to counter strafe from running forward than it is from running sideways.
And Launders knows, because he's the movement king.
I make tutorials and stuff.
Who was that famous NFL player that told you that they watch your tutorial?
Oh, Lump, Ricky Lumpkin. I watched this stream one day and I wanted him to like keep streaming because I thought it was super cool that an NFL player was streaming. He's like, "Hey man, I watched your B-hop tutorial." Whoa.
Molotov follows the smoke, so first they remove the vision, then they remove the threat from the corner. Dapper has to duck out. And when I say threat, I use that word loosely. Remember, this is the light buy from eUnited. 2 instantaneous frags as well for Team 1. The moment they decide to pull the trigger, they get their B site for free. CTs could make the call to just dip out of dodge, or if they want a couple kills, hammer on. But why run the risk? This is a 7th round for Team 1 and a T side that's starting to piece itself together. Sure.
Calm down. All right, they got 1 rifle round.
Yeah, but it was a good one.
We can talk them up to get closer. Was there ever a moment where Furia were behind in their match versus eUnited? It was like pretty close up until the end.
No.
No, they were just always slightly ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right from the gun round when they locked down top mid.
Yeah. But it's at least something. It's quite a quiet cache, you know?
Yeah, it has been.
It's not. First of all, there's no rushes, so I guess that's a big difference. We saw I think 0 rushes in the first half.
Yeah, the closest thing to a quote-unquote rush would have been like eUnited doing a fast smoke execute on A, and even then,
no, they never even.
Like the first gun round, literally their first gun round when they hit A, it was just a quick execute straight up.
They threw their smokes and everything though.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But it's the closest thing to a rush because they didn't wait to throw smokes; they just went right into it.
Mm-hmm. Oh man! You always think it's gonna hit. It just feels like.
Cooper's thinking, "What was that?" Bullet sings by his head. Oi.
Oh yikes!
Oi.
Okay, the problem now with the boost, it's like they killed the guy who was boosting, so even if they didn't hear it, it's just understood. Cooper's low. Did he get hit?
By a frag grenade once he got to white box.
Okay.
So he dodged the bullet.
There's some good spam and stuff from Team 1.
Ate the shrapnel.
What did it sound like to chew shrapnel? Sounds appetizing. So the early round actually goes quite well for Team 1. They do a lot of good damage without seeing anybody, which is always a good sign.
Door swung, smoke crossed. Cooper throws the Molotov deep. And Moose is just going to hang on here to the side of red box. So that does open up the push, actually, for Team 1. Moose catching 2 backs turn, but a saving grace in Maluk.
Oh.
He peeks out from A main at the perfect moment. Cooper, missing the flick towards mid, feels the threat. Dapper quells it for a moment, but a double op retake is not the best look for eUnited. Oh, but now that's got to be tempting. Dapper from downtown.
They are going to save. Yeah, they have a lot of utility. They just maybe don't have the HP and the 2 ops. Again, it's a blessing and a curse to have 2 ops.
Yep.
It's a blessing and a curse.
Great for the holds.
And part of the reason they save is because Cooper took all that damage from the early round, so it is good from Team 1 that they were able to get all that damage in. So like well-placed, preparation nades that they threw, one to white box. The spam damage they did to Dazzle to take him out of the round. Key player for eUnited is big.
It's all the maybes, the wallbang attempt, the white box grenade attempt, the spam attempt. Like, those are all attempts. They're not surefire deals, and yet they all, for the most part, 2 of the 3 worked out.
And that's what the quote-unquote setup phase is meant for, to try to get all the free damage in that you can without taking any risks.
Oh, let's even say, let's add a 4th variable. Spam through smoke as well through A main.
Mm-hmm. Did some damage?
Yep.
So, United, they get kind of just worn down, I suppose. I feel like Cooper could have done a little bit more from heaven. I'm really shocked that he didn't see anything.
It was double scoped at one point. He was very fixated on door.
No, he was looking. But he
didn't see the players up close.
Didn't see the guy boosting on the site, and it's different smoke for him. But
and on top of that, I mean, Moose. Let's be real. He had such a great chance at shutting it down, but Maluk just peeks out from A main to take fort control, close with the op. Like, he literally has 1 shot to save 2 people, and only 1 dies in the process. So, crucial, critical plays on display from Team 1.
Oh, there it is. Bang!
Bye, Dazzle.
Oh, man.
Next.
That's got to be so frustrating.
And another one of those maybes. The what ifs. The so whats.
Can you imagine the endorphin rush for hitting that shot on land?
Yes. Nice.
That's exactly what was said, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what was said. Team 1. Team lose?
No.
Or Team 1?
Looking more like the first option, Launders. You told me not to get excited, so I'll rein it in.
Yeah, why don't you chill out?
I'll hold it off, but tell me this half doesn't look completely different to what you expected coming into it.
Yeah, no, definitely. They look completely lost in the first half compared to this. What's interesting is like they are kind of doing the similar stuff to what eUnited are doing, and eUnited. The only other thing though is that I have more excuses for eUnited on their CT side right now than I did for Team One. There's a lot of, again, like the free damage and stuff like that that Team One have gotten in, won them the last round.
Oh, he just missed a lot of information with Vent there. Cooper doubles back to the A site, maybe feeling the threat from Nico M, but his op would have been more useful trying to cut down the numbers on Vent. B falls instantly. Cooper with a response shot, second in the round. But obviously the plant and the 3v1 after plant is way too much to handle. He's out of there.
B site holds are weak, just like they were for Team One. But also, it's just strange to not see more attention given to checker control when they don't have the proper utility on site. Sitting on site is so dangerous, even if you're not going to throw the smoke down in between default and oranges, because you can molly every single centimeter of the site from Sunroom. So it's surprising to see that without B main control, without checker control, both teams have been willing to sit on the site and just be slave to these executes that have come their way. Dapper did just miss an op shot. That could have been something to hold them back. But both him and FNS come up short. FNS obviously only had the CZ to work with for whatever round. This is for whatever reason. I guess, oh, it's because it was an op that got carried over. Here on this round, it's going to be the full buy. Attack pause called for Team One. The last attack pause that they'll have in this half. And I am shocked that this is competitive. That's seriously not something that I thought I saw, but after 3 rifle rounds, it's, you know, definitely fair to credit Team One for a lot of the stuff that's happened. But this is where I think it's time to be more critical of eUnited if they can't, after all of those things and some of the excuses that we've kind of, or that I've created for them, mulled over, talk about what they're not looking back at to figure out how they can play better this time. Flash out to mid. Maluk going for a pick. He ends up taking some of that early round damage. Even goes back to the well for a second shot. Counter boost here for eUnited. This is something that I talked about, for something for that Team One could have potentially employed.
Oh, they're so ready.
Yeah, but I think I mean, I would assume that Moose is really going to wait a long time here. It's something that can be activated when he sees nades going over. Sometimes you peek early. Oh my God, they're just so prepared. Whoa! Boom! Call that out. Boost up over the truck and take him out. Maybe because they saw 3 at mid, they assumed, okay, he's either going to be someone up close or going for the counter boost. Good call out. Maluk gets his revenge.
It's the exact boost we'd seen eUnited employ as well. Cooper did come up empty-handed in his endeavor.
What's that?
On eUnited's T side, they did the same thing, boosting up on white truck, looking for the mid player.
Oh, I see.
But they never got a pick like that. So Team One, go one better. Now it's FNS over at the B site alone. You can see Dapper desperately trying to rotate over, and FNS's damage is done, but he is still down. Dapper up, drops the bomb. Now Nico M is close, and he takes Dapper's head. Dazzle flies through vents, looking to throw himself into the mix, and a spray down hits the mark through box. Hell of a play from Dazzle, doesn't let his foot off the pedal, and now Nico M from the back site, off of the plant in a 1 versus 2. Throws the first flash, drops to headshot. Cooper catches him, and I've got to say, Dazzle gets it done. Sure, Coop comes in with that last kill, but Dazzle just flies through the vents.
Nasty. That was ridiculous. I feel like he got a lucky headshot on whoever was in B main, but just the instant spray transfer to call out the spot was pretty nicely done. Well played. The money has not been kept low enough because Team One have had very successful rifle and anti-eco rounds to take them down to a safe, but they are kind of close. In worrying territory, considering they're not at double digits yet, while eUnited are 3 away from the 16-round mark. The buy up here for eUnited is strong. It's 2 ops strong, in fact. And Dapper throws an interesting smoke. Bounces hard off of this off of the small boxes, and it allows him to peek, but IDK will go ahead and shy him off the angle. Also a really good Molotov to try to help them push, but one in response from Team 1 as well. Is it going to be a stalemate after this, considering all the utility used? Seems like it might be.
Cooper catches him. That was a deep flashbang as well to support the peak.
Yeah, it wasn't a dry peak.
Yep.
Good to highlight.
So their fallback plan, go for the boost. Try and take that mid control. Scary to me to see Dazzle is the only man with really eyes on mid. And he's doing so from the top of Catwalk, but he creates the space to do so by now getting the kill at A. The entirety of Team 1's mid push is going to be coming into the highway at this moment. He's caught jumping, in fact. Moose peeks through Z, sprays for the second frag, and just can't finish. Man advantage up for eUnited, sure, but what is that from Bit? FNS's wig split, and now it's a B hit. Dapper. He's got that op up. Here's the footsteps. Does isolate the duels. Good on him to just extend. You know, that's got to be a threat. He's got to make the risk happen. Looks to hold the cross as well, but he misses the bullet, which enables Bit's bomb plant. Can he hold on versus Cooper and Dapper? We've got Dapper up in the heavens making sound, and there you have it. You get the same play from Bit, where he peeks out enough to try and get one kill, but he exposes himself to the second player the same way Dapper did. The difference, eUnited successful, and Team 1 give up this round.
Well played in the 2v1, and they put 2 together. So after all is said and done, they did make some mistakes. They lost a few rifle rounds, and Team 1 did claw their way back into the game. But now they're in dangerous territory. United are going to have a lot of money back, though with majority rebuys, they are broke on most people. They just have a very healthy buy in general, whereas Team 1 have bought down to a relatively low amount, and now it's going to be one of their last chances to pull this back on the T side. Will we have something early come out? There's a lot of pressure towards A. Don't know if the rotations are going to be pulled, and it seems like they might be. Smoke goes down. 2 players execing. There's only 1 on site at B, and TRK gets that entry.
It's going to be Dazzle just inside of the smoke, trying to buy time. Cooper serves as a great distraction, but remember, this is all a ruse. It's actually that B hit that TRK puts bomb down with.
They could catch this fallback. Yeah, Cooper's here to spot him. He's going to hear it going through the spawn. Interesting. Might be hard for him to get that kill, ultimately.
I mean, if Cooper does get that kill in mid, you definitely think they chance this retake. Now, it's so hard for him to actually strike from behind, and it doesn't seem like he's going to fancy his chances. Instead, opts to keep his life. FNS.
Surprised they didn't actually go for this, considering they had info there, but, you know, just the sheer number of players still alive ends up being all that Team 1 need. So, a well-timed call for the fake strategy to have 2 players commit. The amount of nades that came out, and also the full committal of those 2 bodies, I think is what really brought it home, obviously, and that's the risk you run. There is a risk that you run sending 2 people into a site if it's not the site you're going to go to, and that is that you only have 3 to enter to entry in B in this situation. But TRK gets his kill immediately, and they pull the rotations out enough that there's nobody else there to support. So they pull it back. Nicely done.
Okay, a little bank smoke. Moose with a gremlin corner. Gets shut down, but Dazzle has a chance.
Oh boy, risky for him. He knows. They might clear this anyways. That's the biggest problem for him. He can let kills go. Yeah, they're going to clear it. He knows where the next fight is from. Tries to adjust for the spray on Bit, but Bit trades him out. They win mid. Oh, and Nico hits an insane shot onto Cooper, leaving just the MP9 in the middle of the map.
My heart goes out to Dazzle. You know, he lets the first one get away. That smoke grenade did create a situation where he could have been there the whole time, but I was thinking, honestly, because Bit was actually out on that side of the smoke before he went through onto the vent side, that why would you clear it? You know,
you just clear it. You know, that's the problem. Right? It can just happen, even if it was communicated.
You minimize the mistakes.
Sometimes you're going through all of the motions, and if you're TRK, it costs you, like, for example, it costs him nothing to clear that.
Correct.
So even if he has cleared, he trusts it, Bit, everything like that, he'll come around that wall, and it's just like, this is where I look all the time.
Right.
I come over here, this is what I do. I go clear this, and I turn that way.
Job done.
Killed that guy, job done. You know? So, yeah, Dazzle, I'm sure Dazzle's aware of that. But, if it makes him feel better, you know, he could have gotten that first kill and then put in the same position. You know, in fact, would have had probably less of a chance of killing TRK, who he killed first, and killing Bit after, which was more 50-50. So probably the best thing that could have been done. But Team 1 absolutely own eUnited at mid.
All right, boys, huddle up. Let's hold hands and ask for help. Because at this moment, Team 1 steamrolling through this T side. At the given moment, Mohan, there has not been a CT side. Oh, no, excuse me. That's out of date.
It just went 2 rounds.
I know, but HLTV bot, I looked over, made that mistake. I closed that tab. I'm out of here.
The thing is, Team 1's CT side was 3 eco rounds that they won. They didn't even win a single rifle round last half.
Right. The first one was when they had just deagles, no armor. The second was when they had saved an op and an M4. And then the third one was the final round when they just bought up, you know, the bargain bin. They walked in and said, what does this get me? Tossed their pennies and nickels on the counter.
There's no more pennies.
Walked out. Not in Canada. How useless were those?
I know, right?
About as useless as USPs in this situation, I suppose.
Seems to be the case. $600 made. Will it be 9? TRK will make it 9. And there it is, $1,200 made. Well, they had 15 with the other player that got killed that we didn't talk about. And Team 1 have a clean, successful anti-eco round where they're very careful when they clear stuff out and they hit B together. And they end the round. And a lot of these rounds have taken their time. Yeah, taking their time.
We'll get there. And maybe eUnited will too. Or maybe Team 1 continue this. You told me to calm down, but now I'm getting excited, and you can't stop me, Launders. Okay, they're within 2. They've been chewing through eUnited for the most part.
The B setups have been a little bit weak on both sides, but this is an exploitable weakness for Team 1. They can potentially pull off another B split, and if, I mean, they've got some utility on the site. I mean, if they re-smoke B main again, they won't. But I swear, no, they have Dapper. I feel like Dapper just needs to hold on to this. If they're going to really want to hold from the site the entire time, they basically just died doing this, so. Because see FNS's position, if they come up headshot, see he's listening, they come up headshot, they can hard clear him, and he can't surprise them with a peek, right? He's got to swing out a little bit and get destroyed. So if they smoke between him and default, they can at least use that, force them to come up headshot.
Oh, 3 Molotovs into the bomb site. It is a barbecue. And FNS is down. Dapper does have some positioning in the back of the bomb site, but it's cleared thoroughly, and Cooper can't catch anyone on the cross. Bomb plant by B3. That right there is a save. God, like you said, that B, I mean, the B setup's just cut through. Like, what's the difference? I mean, where's the deep checkers control? Where's Cooper's op? Instead of being in heaven, where your op seems so nullified.
Well, the op was a rotator, but
right.
They have 2 players on B, which is what you can do if you don't have information.
I feel like,
but yeah, I mean, that's why checkers control is so important.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when you have so many players on a T side going into the backyard of B main, when you get all these bodies stacking up for what is clearly a B execute with heavy utility, and often checkers with the support of the site players, that would help, no?
Yeah, it can. Now, I mean, even FNS has a 3 molly execute for checkers to try to isolate that player. But neither of these teams have used it to try to clear out checkers. The only problem is when you lose mid, and that's why it always comes back to mid. You lose mid, checkers become scary.
Right. Okay.
But still, you know, you've got to do one of. There's problems with all the setups, but at least if you have checkers, you have another way out. So, you know, it's not wrong what you're saying. I'm a huge proponent for it. I just don't see how what they've been doing currently seems to be the. I can't see how that's the best idea when it hasn't worked at all. I don't think there's been a round, in fact, where they've gotten a single kill holding the site from the two players on the site. Right,
very possibly. I'd just like to see Cooper maybe activate a little bit more. You know, he's kind of this explosive opera at times. We had the privilege of watching him perform very well on the Epicenter stage, and that was versus internationally skilled teams. Like, he was out of his element, out of his caliber, and yet on an individual level he was up there. And he's having a good game, don't get me wrong, but unfortunately I don't think he's been put into positions to win rounds in and of himself. But obviously you can't afford an op all the time, but when he's got it, you know, instead of just Dapper and FNS hiding behind boxes with Molotovs flying in. Mind you, I guess that does couple into just Team 1 having great utility usage, whether it be mid executes for map control, whether it be that all-in on the B bomb site. They are ready to go, but fare thee well, Dazzle. TRK off the white box just melts this highway to A play. FNS gonna have to walk over, try to pick up some pieces, collect the dog tags, and dies in the process. 5 up for Team 1, tied at 14. Literally anyone's map. eUnited, 2 pauses left over. I mean, at this point, they're just shooting for 1 even. Anybody here who secures OT is going to at least take a sigh of relief.
Can we take a look at the round so far? The rounds that we've seen so far?
ADR, please.
Okay. So we have the only 2 rounds that they've won are the 2 rifle rounds that they won, which were great rounds. But somehow that's worse than the 3 eco rounds that Team 1 have won in their first half. And at the end of the day, that just goes to show it's a numbers game. They've had chances. It's been pretty much, you look at this, it's a pistol, anti-ecos, and then buy, save, buy, save, buy, save, buy, save for the entire half. So,
yep.
You know, about 2/3 of those rounds have been rifle rounds, something like that. Or 1/3, I should say. Instant 1-tap on the vent to start this round off. And eUnited are doing something funky at the beginning of the round. Oh, they're using Cooper to go A main, and then they're going to boost as well. I mean, if it's a B play, this isn't going to do much. Also, if they lose mid, Moose is not in a great spot. This is not a great spot for holding mid. So, not sure what the thought process is here. Hasn't been too much A presence, been a lot of successful B hits, and it seems like they're postured up to take this site. FNS goes to checker, but they lose mid. And his spot is not very strong anymore.
Right,
Dapper's also in a retake position.
That's literally a prime example as to how you explained it to me. You know, FNS goes for the checkers play like I alluded to, and down he goes. Smoked off is Dapper, had a slight gap to try and work those flick shots with Dazzle in the heavens, has a chance to stop bomb, does tag it up slightly. But eUnited, I mean, are they going to go in off of this? They're poised for the retake with a man in mid. Cooper could come through vents. But we've got Team 1 deep in the site, and eUnited tuck their tails to walk away from this.
I'm honestly shocked. Holy smokes. The B execs have been solid, but yeah, they try to change it up. I just feel like the majority of the problems were at B towards the end of the half. Just such strong executes from Team 1 that they haven't been able to deal with. And the response was to take A main control, which maybe could have netted them a kill, so that's one way, and then boost up Moose, but then they didn't have mid, and Team 1 have gone mid most of the time. So what is that in a response to? They haven't actually had a problem stopping them from coming out of A main. And that's what the boost is for.
Right.
A main, squeaky, something like that, not mid.
I just feel like B bomb site to Team 1 is what A site was to eUnited. It's just so convincing every time. The defense can't stand. You know, they barely get damage out. And that's where Team 1 struggled on their defensive side. But that was a long time ago. We are 29 rounds deep. eUnited going to take another pause off of this. They have a full buy. They've got that double op setup. But what difference does it make?
I don't know. It might be a chill-out pause, because they're probably heated at this point. They just gave up match point after having a 12-3 half. So, you know, one thing I like that they did at B in the early round was when they had FNS and Dapper kind of fight the players who were pushing outside outside Sunroom.
Yeah.
They threw Molotovs. They got counter Molotovs in response. And Team 1 did have good adjustments for it. But that was like the closest they got to getting in front of an execute. Whereas they've, other than that, just let executes happen to them.
Right. See, and that's why I called for this. You see Cooper on the B site now trying to get that pick. That's what I was hoping he'd go for. But in his one attempt at it, he's taken early damage. Didn't even get a shot off versus IDK. Almost falls to the AK in an angle he's predicting. Meanwhile, Team 1 seemed to opt to the A site this time around. B has been their bread and butter. Let's see if they can do it over here. They are running into Dazzle. Outstanding performance at times from him. We shall see if it's enough. Dazzle and Moose. I mean, this is meant to be that killer duo for eUnited. Now, Dazzle's was damaged up through the door spam, so Wallbang could play a part in this. Moose ready to wrap around from forklift, denied through the smoke. Now, Nico M finds Dazzle. That's the actual defenders down. You get the rotator in Dapper and a little mid-control off Coop, but he was tagged early too. So the assists starting to work out. This early damage furthermore with the utility versus Dapper. Nico M, very of the flank, gets the headshot, instantaneous. Cooper's removed, and Dapper dies. It is a hell of a comeback from Team 1. Oh my goodness.
Look at those.
12-3, barely hanging on. Like you said, Launders, 3 eco rounds. Three eco rounds is what Team 1 had to work with coming into the second half. And they just dismantle eUnited.
Crazy, man. Look at the amount of T rounds won. That is just, the map is not that sided. You know, it's not that sided either way. I mean, it's hard to justify all of that happening. You can kind of go round by round and look at it like we did. We did a good job of following like every issue and compounding.
Yeah.
You know, and then there were adjustments in there, but there wasn't enough attention for both them at B. And on T side, they were so much better identifying threats and identifying their strengths and following up on it than they were on CT side and figuring out how to adapt on CT side.
Right. With the offense, you know, eUnited, they had that clear-cut decision, like you're saying. You know, when there was an issue, they knew exactly how to avoid it and what to go into next. And we never saw like a tapering off of that skill. You know, their B hits looked just as good as A. That mid to highway was just as good through vents. And then once we swapped over, I could literally almost feel eUnited like sludging through the solution, you know, calculating the math, and ultimately failing the assignment. Folks, a 12-3 half, not enough on cash for eUnited to pick up their map, but we will be back with a second. Of course, we're transitioning into the choice of Team 1 to see if they can finish it all there. We'll see you guys for map number 2.